Hey friends, so we're going to chat money rituals today. A few weeks ago, I went and just showcased a day in my life, and I mentioned money rituals kind of through my day-to-day activities. And a lot of you messaged and said, hey, I want to learn more about money rituals. So that's what we're going to jam on today. Hi Jacqueline, hi Tina. So to get to the heart of it, often why we struggle so much with our relationship to money is one, we don't even realize we have a relationship to money. We just see it as this thing that is around us and we use it. And often we underestimate the level of shame walls and shame spiraling that show up in our day-to-day life with money, especially as women leaders, as women CEOs in our life and our business. It's really important for us to recalibrate our energy around money. And I use money rituals as a way to inject that in my normal life. I mean, I love money, y'all know this, but it's important for us to put placeholders in our life that make us really want to connect to what it is we're trying to do, which is ultimately release shame and fear and lean into our power and embrace money as a energetic match for whatever we desire, right? You totally helped me change my opinion about money. Thank you so much. Yeah, I feel like we need more airtime about money in life. The whole premise for me about money is rewiring our connections with ourselves, our relationships with others, our relationship with our business. So today, to get to the heart of the matter, having money rituals allows us to create new levels of safety that we need to nourish our life with money, with existence. Think about it. How often are we going about our day and everything's fine until we realize we don't have enough money or we overspend, and it's an immediate trigger, it's a shame trigger, it's a fear trigger, we feel horrible. And I don't want that for us. I don't want that for us at all. I want us to be able to cultivate a life that we deeply deserve. And in creating a safety for ourselves, it gives some of our power back, right? When we get to choose to see things differently, we get to choose to create an energy around money that is a true relationship about up-leveling, about nourishment, the game changes. So a little while ago, I posted a story about how we can ask ourselves how we need safety. And I'm going to revisit that here right now. It's about saying to ourselves and our bodies, what do we need? Because we have so much inner wisdom. We forget that we are in control of our lives. We get to choose the path forward. And when that happens, when we say, how can I see this differently? How can I go within? If that's through meditation, if that's sitting out in nature and just checking in with our bodies and asking, how can I create safety with my money? Now, for some of you may say, I don't even know what that means. But for me, it's really about creating day-to-day pleasures and joy and keeping my energetic state high. And so I'll give you some examples of what safety might mean. So past clients, when they did this exercise, they had a deep disconnect between their body and money. And I don't know if that resonates for you, but it definitely resonated for me. In my past, I was always striving to earn lots of money. I had a corporate career. I was flying around the globe. I had a huge team of finance people underneath me, and I was really stressed and overwhelmed. And I was living in fear a lot, and I didn't even realize it. And I never listened to my body, which is one of the reasons I deeply believe I got Crohn's disease. I have an autoimmune disease now because I was constantly in a state of fight or flight. I didn't listen to my body. So for me, creating safety with money has to come back to our gut, our inner wisdom, our inner knowing, because truly our highest self, our intuition knows the way. So if we give that airtime intentionally through money rituals, asking ourselves regularly, you could literally do this every day anywhere. You could do that easily. Say, what do I need to feel safe? And whatever comes to you is the most important wisdom. And as you get more fluid at doing this, you'll get good at it, you'll listen more, things will come out. So some practical examples that I've heard from clients before are, hey, I need $1,000 in my bank account, in my checking account for me to feel safe. I need $25 in my wallet at all times in case I get stuck somewhere where I need to pay parking. That feels safe. another person said, I want to not have to use my credit cards ever again, because when I use my credit cards, it makes me feel unsafe. Now, don't forget, we can always shift our perception of that. That doesn't mean absolute truth, but what do we need safely right now? And as we continue to get better and up level, we can change our levels of safety. You still seem to have so much energy and charge. You seem so happy. I thank you. I really work hard at that. I mean, this is an area of something I deeply care about, and it really charges me up. And I think that's important as a leader of your life, that you do things that light you up to keep you in a high state so you can feel supercharged about things, right? If we hate our 9-to-5 job, if we're too scared to move forward, if we're crippled by fear, that energetically takes us out. And if you saw my recent posts, like, I've been in a personal storm as of late. Like, I've been having some deep struggles within my family, and I just needed to go into the quiet for a while. You know, I really needed to understand what I need to feel better and to feel safe. And that is energy. Money is energy. It's not just about transactions. It's about the relationships in our lives. So thank you for telling me that, because do I always come from a place of high energy? Absolutely not. We're all human, but the goal is to live our best life. And when we're not doing that, it's to do the work and to ask the questions. And for me, Money Rituals helps us do the work. So do your body check-in, listen within, ask yourself questions, and journal about it. Because when we hold things up here all the time, we think we know things. And if we don't put in a beginner's mind, which is to ask ourselves real questions that invoke answers that matter, and just ask them from a place of not saying I know all things, just to listen and write and get them out from here and onto paper, we're telling ourselves what to do, and that's the best guidance we can receive. Of course, external influences are great, and we learn strategy, we implement them, but they must come from within. Shannon, you're the best, girl. Thank you. So yeah, it needs to come from within. So one of the things about my money rituals, every single day, I wake up and I tell myself, today I get to choose how I show up. And that really gives my power back. I'm one of those people who likes to be in control. It's like my personality. So if I don't feel in control in a way that feels safe, and not like because I just need to control everything, just to feel safe, things feel better. So part of that is cutting out negative self-talk. Like, all the time I feel like I can be like shaming myself about something. Like, just yesterday, I bought something that was, more than something I'd normally spend. And I found myself questioning. I'm like, do I really deserve this? Have I worked hard enough for this? Meh. No, we can't be just saying that stuff to ourselves. We have to observe from a place of safety and say, is this honoring me? Is this nourishing my relationship to money? Do I deserve this? Of course I do. I work hard. I believe in what I'm doing. I'm creating a ripple effect. But I ultimately get to choose my reaction to my money story, to the things that trigger me around my money. And when we feel resistance and when we feel like tightness in our gut or in our body, it's a beautiful invitation that we have work to do. Journal about it. Writing from within is one of our greatest gifts with money. And I know it's easy to say, oh, just journal all these things. I mean it. The hundreds and hundreds and thousands of women I've worked with over the years really see a difference when they show up and they do the work around creating safety with their money. So today, if you're like, I need some changes in my money, do this exercise and do it with heart and intention and take inspired actions from it. And if you suck at it, it's okay. Do it again some other day. When you recalibrate your energy, just keep going, because our inner wisdom is the guide, right? So one other thing that could be a good example of a money ritual, say you're a woman leader and you really want to own your CEO status in your business, but you're not charging your worth and you're constantly getting triggered by it. You're starting to resent your clients. You don't have good boundaries. Oh my word, we need to stop doing this to ourselves. One of the things that I really want you to think about is asking yourself, how can I raise my prices in a meaningful way? How can I do that? How can I understand my worth? And part of the work in building your own custom toolkit around this, right, is to say, well, how much knowledge do I possess? How much value am I providing? What are the results that people are getting? And it's not just about the time, people. It's about the value we're providing. It's about the ripple effect we're creating. And when we lean into the transformation that we help clients have, either through, our coaching, if you're a coach, or the products you provide, and you feel into that and you feel the energy of that, you can open up yourself to possibilities that you are more than enough. As a human, you are more than enough to charge and to earn, and that creates a cycle of abundance that is so deeply meaningful, that helps every single one of us, right? Part of our whole philosophy in life is to show up and do our best. And when we show up and do our best and we charge our value and we pay things that we want for things we value, that cycle is really well-rounded and well-received. And that is what honors us and helps us elevate our life in the most meaningful way. So lean into the value you provide, whether you work a 9 to 5, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're just someone who's like, I need to change this today. Focus in and lean into that, because it's really important. And for those of us who trigger all the time with our spouses, right? We tend to attract spouses that are completely opposite to us, right? Well, that's going to trigger us all the live long day, especially around money. Your spouse could have grown up in an environment maybe where they spoke openly about money all the time. And you may have grown up in an environment where, not talking about money ever, and it's like deeply shameful. And so whenever you talk about money with that person, your spouse, you trigger and you fight, and it creates all of this chaos. Well, what about if we consider how to create safety with them? Maybe that means holding space, without judgment and without trying to change their outcomes, and without trying to do anything other than to lean into the gratitude of, you can do this as a team, and to see what they offer and what they're saying, and leaning into that and not coming from a place of judgment. That might be your relationship creating safety with money. So you see there's a theme here. Everything is actually not about the dollars themselves, and everything is to do with things like imposter syndrome and shame and fear and all the parts of us that we don't want to have light on. So money rituals are about reminding us to do the work, doing the work in a way that honors us, honors what we want, because everyone's relationship to money is deeply personal, right? My relationship to my money is going to be way different than yours. If I gave all of us $1,000, wouldn't that be awesome, to spend, we would spend it all differently. Some of us would save a portion, some would spend all of it. The key to that is that what we really want? How do we want to nurture and foster and grow our relationship to money? And it's through creating safety. It's through listening from within. That is why I believe I have a disease in my gut, because I never listened to my gut. So it's like, thank you, universe, a good reminder, right? So in essence, on this rant, I really want us to take inspired actions through loving accountability for ourselves, to inject money rituals, whether that's checking in on our bank accounts, to stopping self-speak by posting something beautiful on our mirror, or having regular conversations with our spouse about money, or actually meeting with our CPA or bookkeeper and saying, damn, I don't know how to earn money in my business. Can you please just tell me? Because I really need to know. Standing in that. And does that make you any less of a person because you don't know what revenue versus cash flow is? No. We don't learn these things. It's important that we stand in our power and ask good questions, because as women leaders, as moms, as humans, we need to take inspired action to foster a better relationship with money, right? So loving accountability is really important. And so a couple of things I want to focus in on that is always to lead with love for yourself and focus in on wins. Like maybe you're going to do a money ritual where you check in on your bank accounts. Go through your transactions and listen to how you react. If you find yourself shaming yourself all the time, just stop that. Just say, oh yeah, I remember that Selena girl ranting on Instagram one day about how there's lessons around every corner and that money is energy, and I'm allowed to spend my money on things I value. I don't have to give up all the things. I don't have to restrict myself. So I'm going to focus in on my wins. What are your daily wins that you could celebrate? Y'all know who, if you followed me for a while, I deeply believe in gratitude. Like when we get new clients, one of my money rituals is to thank them out loud and send them love and blessings for trusting me, for buying into one of my programs. That's important. So if you've ever bought anything from me, you can be assured that I would have thanked you and sent you a whole bunch of love. And it's the energy behind it, right? It's the energy behind the things in our home. Like if our home is filled with things we don't like, that's going to energetically take us out. If you are living with a duvet cover that is ripped and torn and you hate it, and every time you call into bed, you're like, oh my word, I just hate this duvet cover. I hate what it represents. That energy is important. Buy yourself a really amazing duvet so that you create safe space in your home and that you love your home and you feel good about it. And I believe that creates a ripple effect. Do we need to have strategies that help us spend? Yes, we can't just overspend all the time, but there's a beautiful energetic harmony between buying the things we value, loving ourselves, and showing up fully in our life to create safety within our money and create nourishment in our life, right? So one other thing about loving accountability is to think back to your whole family legacy. There are so many of us who forget that trauma is held at a cellular level across generations. That includes money trauma. So for those of us who've had descendants, well, all of us have had descendants from, say, the 1930s, when it was like you couldn't ever have any extra to spend, and your grandparents and parents have inflicted that on you. Guess what? Through money rituals, you can change your relationship to money. You can say, no, not for me, not anymore. That may have served them for that time, but right now, today, I get to feel safe and happy with my money, and I'm going to start with small things, and small inspired actions will help you get there. And this is something, if you can't tell, that I'm fired up about and I talk about all the time, because rewiring our relationship with money starts from within. Inner richness is first and foremost, and that's different for each of us. And then, our relationships with our spouses or our family members also matter. And then, of course, with our business, if we're business owners, get yourself a business if you want to be triggered with money, because it's always up in our face. How we spend, how we earn, all the worthiness shows up. And that's important that we really deeply work on that stuff. It's from within, always. Richness from within. So, connection is currency is one of my absolute favorite value principles that I live in my life. Start paying attention who's in your circle. Who are you listening to and taking advice from? And are they someone you deeply admire? Or are they sucking your energy dry? Are they an energy vampire? Because part of our money rituals is to safeguard our heart and our spirit, and making sure that we are around people who lift us up. That's a really important thing with money. So, key to all of this is really remembering that we can fall into shame spirals in an instant. But money rituals help us create safety. They give us choice. They remind us that we are enough. And so part of what I want you to do today is to build in some money rituals that honor you and your legacy and your story, and that will create a ripple effect that you're proud of, right? And it doesn't always have to be about I have to live my best life. No, if it's just about survival today, and you need to write on your mirror that you are enough and you are worthy of your best life with lipstick that's 3 years old, girl, do that. Because you are enough. And if you need to believe in yourself, borrow my belief in you. Because I'm telling you, I am the biggest cheerleader for humans. And I believe we're all able to do things that we never thought possible. And it just takes a little bit of belief. It takes a little bit of choice. It takes a little bit of inspired action to lean past fear. So today, build in some money rituals and tell me about them, because I want to celebrate you. I want to celebrate all that you're about and that you can accomplish, and you get to choose today to never have the same relationship to money. It's just that simple. Change your energy, change your life. And lastly, I want to tell you all, I have a 3-day live event coming up in my home city of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. It is going to be December 3rd to 5th, and we are going to jam on rewiring our relationships with ourselves, with our business, with our money for women leaders. So if that's you, shoot me a DM, because I want you to come. I'm going to be doing something extra special and giving to women like I've never given before, in a way that really honors our growth patterns. So if you want to come, let me know. But do some money rituals no matter what. okay? Keep me posted on them. I want to celebrate you. And remember that you are worthy. And if you need to borrow my belief in you, go ahead and do that, because I know we all can do this, right? So happy Friday. Have a beautiful day. If you have more questions, let me know. I'll check back. But have the most incredible weekend, guys.